Military discipline is absolute. Orders are followed, formations held, routines observed. Especially within the rigid structure of the late 19th century British Army. Yet, sometimes, the most disciplined environments become the backdrop for the most baffling mysteries. Imagine trained soldiers, armed and encamped, vanishing into the night, leaving behind only silence and questions that echo unanswered for over a century. This is the unsettling story from the fringes of Adelaide, 1889. The British Empire spanned the globe, and its army trained relentlessly, often in harsh, unfamiliar terrains. South Australia, with its arid plains and sparse bushland outside the growing city of Adelaide, offered just such a challenging environment. In 1889, a seasoned British infantry battalion was stationed nearby, tasked with maintaining readiness and projecting imperial power. Part of their regimen involved demanding field exercises, including simulated night operations, crucial for testing discipline and tactics under the cover of darkness. Picture the scene. Late evening, the South Australian air cooling after a hot day. The battalion marches out from its barracks to a designated training area, a remote, relatively flat, and featureless expanse some distance from the city lights. Tents are pitched in neat rows according to regulation. Rifles, the soldiers' most crucial possession, are likely stacked securely or kept close at hand. Sentries are posted. The familiar routines of a military encampment under field conditions unfold. As darkness deepens, the night exercises commence. Perhaps simulated patrols, reconnaissance tasks, or defensive drills. The sounds would be muted, muffled commands, the crunch of boots on dry earth, the rustle of equipment. All under the vast, starry canopy of the southern sky. Nothing, according to the official records that survived, seemed out of the ordinary. Just another demanding training night for Queen Victoria's soldiers. Then came the dawn. Reveille sounds, the first light creeping over the desolate landscape. But as officers move to rouse their men and take roll call, a chilling discovery is made. An entire section, perhaps more, reports vary, suggesting several dozen soldiers, are missing. Not just absent from their posts, but gone entirely. Vanished. The initial confusion likely turned quickly to alarm. A search of the immediate area reveals nothing. Their tents stand undisturbed, flaps closed, bedding potentially still inside. Crucially, their Martini Henry rifles, standard issue and meticulously accounted for, are found neatly stacked or perhaps leaning inside the empty tents, exactly where they should be. Personal kit seems largely untouched. There are no signs of a struggle, no bloodstains, no tracks indicating a panicked flight or an organized departure through the rough terrain. Dozens of trained soldiers don't simply evaporate. The command structure demands answers. An immediate, wider search is launched, scouring the surrounding bushland. But days turn into weeks, yielding nothing. No bodies, no discarded equipment, no trace whatsoever of the missing men. Faced with an inexplicable disappearance and mounting pressure, the official investigation reaches a conclusion. Mass desertion. It's a plausible, if embarrassing, explanation. Perhaps the harsh conditions, the lure of rumored goldfields further inland, or simply a desire to escape military life led a group to coordinate a silent escape under the cover of the night exercises. Leaving their rifles behind seems counterintuitive for deserters facing a potentially hostile wilderness or capture, but perhaps it was deemed necessary for a swift, silent getaway. It tidied up the reports, closed the files. Case dismissed as a failure of discipline. But whispers among the ranks and the sparse local population told a different story, one that didn't fit the neat narrative of desertion. Some local farmers and settlers, living on the fringes of the training grounds, spoke of strange occurrences that specific night. They reported seeing unusual lights in the sky over the area where the battalion was camped. Not campfires, not signal flares, but an odd, silent luminescence, a peculiar glow hanging or moving slowly in the darkness where no known light source should be. These accounts were easily dismissed as unreliable, misinterpreted natural phenomena, or local superstition. Yet, they persisted. The story might have faded into obscure military lore, another strange tale from the colonial frontier. But decades later, in the 1950s, the mystery resurfaced in a tangible, disturbing way. Archaeological surveys or perhaps construction work being carried out in the general vicinity of the 1889 training grounds unearthed something unexpected. Fragmentary remains were discovered. Not animal bones. Not typical human remains identifiable from the period. According to the limited, often hard to verify reports surrounding this find, these remains were puzzling. Their structure or composition reportedly defied easy classification at the time. Experts brought in were allegedly unable to definitively identify their origin. Were they ancient fossilized remains misinterpreted? Degraded human bones altered by unusual soil conditions? Or something else entirely? The finding added another layer of unsettling ambiguity to the story of the vanished battalion. Were these remains connected to the soldiers? Or to the strange lights witnesses claimed to have seen? The official record holds firm. Desertion. But the conflicting details gnaw at certainty. The untouched tents. The abandoned rifles, a soldier's lifeblood. The local accounts of inexplicable lights. And the later discovery of unidentifiable, anomalous remains near the very ground where disciplined men seemingly stepped out of existence. What truly unfolded on that remote South Australian plain in 1889? Did dozens of soldiers meticulously plan and execute a flawless, silent desertion, inexplicably abandoning their weapons? Or did they encounter something during their night maneuvers, something heralded by strange lights in the sky, that led to their complete and utter disappearance, leaving behind only enigmatic fragments and an enduring military mystery? The barren ground near Adelaide keeps its secrets well.